Good evening. I'm Adam Bartlemay.
And I'm Christina Aguayo. 9 and 10 News at 6 starts right now.
The cold air is coming back. That means gusty winds, lake effect snow, and for some areas, winter weather advisories.
Plus a scary moment for the babysitter of a 3-year-old child when she witnessed a man trying to kidnap the toddler out of her hotel room.
You hear about this stuff all the time on the news, but you never think it's actually going to happen to you until it happens to you.
The woman telling us about the moments the man attempted to pull the child through a window and what she did to try to stop him. Plus, lawmakers in Lansing hearing testimony today about the creation of a new commission that will work to keep kids safe.
Our kids have a fundamental right to a safe and respectful learning environment.
Why they say addressing the mental health needs of students will prove to be more effective than physical security measures at preventing school shootings. And the search continues for a 51-year-old man who has been missing since Friday morning. What officials are doing to narrow the search and the challenges they're now facing.
We start tonight with a live look over the shores of Mackinac City from our Doppler 9 and 10 Sky Cam at Scheffler's Ferry Dock. You can see there's some snow on the beach, but the water is flowing freely tonight. You won't see any ice popping up. However, north of the Straits, you can expect to see even more snow.
And combine that with strong wind and temps in the 30s, those of you in the Upper Peninsula can expect some messy conditions. Doppler 9 and 10 Chief Meteorologist Tom O'Hare joins us now with the details. And Tom, what are we looking for tonight?
Yeah, we're looking at more lake effect snow. We had a little bit earlier, but right now kind of in between systems. Got a little more flurries popping up here and there, but you can tell towards Marquette, a little burst of energy there. Behind this, there's just more cold air in place. That's why snowcast between 8 p.m. tonight and 2 p.m. tomorrow. We're talking 3 to 6 inches up north here, maybe an inch or so across the lower peninsula. You really won't see a whole lot until later on tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. And as for low temperatures, we're going to drop down the teens and 20s, but they will not come up much tomorrow. Highs generally for tomorrow in the 20s. Gusty winds developing. That's tomorrow morning. Wind gusts 30, 35, maybe 40 miles per hour. So that with the cold air coming in helps to focus some lake effect and bring the wind chill factors down to teens and some single digits. We'll talk more about that forecast in a few moments.
A babysitter who stopped what deputies say was an attempted kidnapping at an Antrim County motel is speaking out about her harrowing experience. The Antrim County Sheriff's Office says it all happened at the DRC Rentals in Mansalona Township.
9 and 10's Jody Meeson talked to the babysitter and the father of the child about the terrifying experience. She joins us now live from where the alleged attempted kidnapping happened with more details about the incident that the babysitter believes could have ended in tragedy. Jody?
Adam, Christina, the Antrim County Sheriff's Office says they responded to a report of a 27-year-old Mansalona Township man that attempted to abduct a child, a 3-year-old, from a window here at this motel in Mansalona Township. But that attempt was stopped by the quick thinking of a pregnant babysitter.
Even though I'm 38 weeks pregnant, as soon as I saw him physically reach his hand through the window, I've never moved that quick in my entire life.
Kendall Ireland says she was watching her friend's kid while the friend went to a nearby store when it happened. Kendall says she recognized the man as a neighbor at the motel where the family had been staying at long term.
He opened up the window, and Nathan was wanting his dad at the time, so, he was crying that he wanted his dad. He opened up the window. At first, it was fine. He was just talking to the kids.
But she says things then escalated.
He was telling him, come here, I'll come help you find your dad.
That's when the pregnant mom of 2 sprang into action.
I screamed it as loud as I could, and I slammed the window, locked it shut. I told my husband he needed to come inside because he was sitting in the truck right in front of the apartment.
Kendall was able to pull the child to safety, but then the man tried to get in through the front door.
The man opened the door, took one step in front of our door, and then into our door.
Kendall and her husband were able to force the man back out, and her husband and a neighbor detained the man until deputies arrived. For Dad Christopher Phillips, who arrived before police got to the scene, he says he's happy things turned out the way they did.
I'm thankful, because she's pregnant right now, dealing with a rough pregnancy. It was probably difficult for her. But I'm glad that her and my niece and her husband are safe, and as long as my kids are okay, too.
Mayor is in custody, and he has been arraigned. He's charged with attempted kidnapping, first-degree breaking and entering, home invasion, and being a repeat offender. Live in Antrim County, Jody Meeson, 9 and 10 News.
being out in these cold temperatures, it wouldn't be good for anyone at all. So, yeah, we're extremely concerned.
The Sheboygan Police Department continues to search for a 51-year-old man who has been missing since early Friday morning. Today, a group from Alpena came into the area to help search for David Demara by using dogs to track him. The DNR is also putting boats in the water, checking the river and riverbanks. Demara, who is considered to be a vulnerable adult, was last seen leaving the next-door food store on State Street in Sheboygan on foot. He was last seen wearing a green short-sleeve shirt, blue jeans, and brown boots. They also have a picture from a surveillance video where he's wearing a brown coat, which he may still be wearing. Chief Scott Reifenberg believes Demara may be in the area as he does not have a cell phone or a car. Yesterday, the Emmett County Sheriff's Office was out with drones looking for Demara. They've also been offered help from Sheboygan Search and Rescue, but it may be difficult to take that help.
The biggest challenge is finding a place to tell them to go search. You know, oftentimes when someone goes missing, the family will know of an area where the individual likes to go when they're upset or when they, you know, just an area that they really like to visit. We really don't have that with this individual.
Sheboygan police have also been looking at surveillance footage from nearby businesses and homes and are asking people in the area to check any unsecured outbuildings or trailers or call them to check out anything that might be suspicious.
New at 6, a man is behind bars and a woman sent to the hospital after a rollover crash in Grand Traverse County. The sheriff's office says it happened on US 31 in Blair Township early Sunday morning. Deputies say the man who was driving swerved to miss an animal in the road, crashed into a ditch, and the woman riding in the car was thrown from it. She was taken to Munson Medical Center. Deputies believe alcohol may have played a role in the crash. The driver is facing a charge of driving drunk, causing serious injury.
Well, now to an update. We now know the name of the man accused of hurting a pregnant woman and punching a police officer. Traverse City Police say Ethan Jones is facing 2 counts of assault on a police officer, 1 count of assaulting a police officer causing injury, and 1 count of domestic violence. Jones allegedly shoved his girlfriend to the ground last Friday afternoon. Officers say they chased him when he ran, and that's when he punched one of them multiple times, breaking a bone. That officer has been cleared to return to work tomorrow.
A downstate attorney has been arrested by U.S. Marshals after a court hearing about her allegedly sharing confidential emails from Dominion voting systems. Stephanie Lambert obtained confidential emails from Dominion by representing Patrick Byrne, a prominent Republican donor who's being sued by Dominion for defamation. On Monday, Lambert acknowledged that she passed along records from Dominion, but she says that it was to law enforcement, and because the documents contain evidence of a crime, she had to disclose it. Lambert then shared an affidavit that was signed by the Barry County Sheriff. The obtained emails were, at one point, publicly shared by an X account under the Barry County Sheriff's name. It's not clear if he runs the account. Dominion has filed a court motion to disqualify Lambert from the case, saying she disregarded court orders and endangered Dominion employees with her actions. Lambert's client, Patrick Byrne, wrote that if Lambert was arrested, I respect her even more, and she can raise her rate.
A House committee heard testimony today on creating a school mental health commission, a move that supporters say will help students who are struggling and make schools safer. School safety is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. Advocates say that increased security is not a substitute for supporting the mental health of students and making sure community members feel safe. 9 and 10 political reporter Sheldon Krause has more details on the legislation that is aiming to keep mental health in the spotlight.
So I think we can agree, all of us, no matter what side of the aisle you sit on, that our kids have a fundamental right to a safe and respectful learning environment.
Lawmakers heard testimony Tuesday on the creation of a new school mental health commission. The bipartisan legislation seeks to support students of all ages in fostering positive mental health and equipping schools with the resources to respond to the needs of their community.
And we know now that when our kids are not physically or mentally secure, they cannot learn academically.
The legislation would establish the 9-person School Safety and Mental Health Commission, with members being appointed by the governor and leaders of the House and Senate. Several groups must be represented in the commission's membership, including a parent, a teacher, a school mental health professional, and a school administrator. Supporters say the legislation could prove more effective than physical security measures. Stemming the problem of poor student mental health would likely reduce the possibility of violent episodes while also fostering a feeling of support among students.
The bills before you today have the potential to equip schools with the best practice models and policies so that our students, staff, and families can feel confident in their district's ability to conduct threat assessments and follow school safety protocols in a way that prioritizes both their physical and psychological safety.
The package would also require that Michigan State Police report tips involving violence or self-harm to a school's emergency and safety manager along with the local sheriff's office. Michigan State Police would also be required to adopt consistent terminology for school threats, while the board of each public school would be required to create their own threat and assessment management team.
These bills today and the ones to follow aren't the fix that's going to take care of all of this, but I do think these bills get us down the road a lot further than we are today, and will be important to helping us maintain our school safety.
The legislation was not advanced out of the House Education Committee, but could be passed in mid-April once lawmakers return from a spring recess. In Lansing, Sheldon Krause, 9 and 10 News.
Supporters of the school safety package say that they did not include gun policies so that the package, which has been in limbo for more than 2 years, had an easier chance of being accepted. After the 2021 Oxford High School shooting and the shooting at Michigan State in 2023, people have been calling for school safety plans. Last year, Democrat lawmakers passed sweeping gun reform legislation that included red flag laws, universal background checks, and safe storage requirements.
Make sure that you can get here safely to be seen, whether that's the hospital or the clinic.
With the construction in Traverse City on Front Street and soon on the Grandview Parkway, medical professionals say it's important to plan ahead if you need care. Munson Medical Center is urging all travelers to take extra time if they need to make it to the hospital. They recommend planning extra time when leaving for an appointment and planning your route through the detours. They understand people living in the Traverse City area may be used to it by now, but out-of-town visitors may not be. Munson also says it's especially important to make sure drivers are also making pathways for emergency vehicles if they see flashing lights.
A significant amount of communication has been executed with all of the different EMS providers in the entire region. So from Alpena to the eastern UP, down here in Traverse City, north, south, east, and west, we're making sure that all of those emergency vehicles are well aware before they arrive in Traverse City.
And Munson will be keeping everyone up to date through their social media, newsletters, and appointment reminder texts.
Well, a new business is joining Matins downtown. Coming up, we'll take you to the all-new Schutt's Stop and Shop for a look at their grand opening.
And later,
it is incredibly rewarding 15 years later to see how far we've come.
The major milestone being celebrated by the Lakeshore Children's Advocacy Center. You're watching 9 and 10 News at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. Had that bit of snow last night into the morning hours, some a bit more than others, like the Straits. Here in Gaylord had that little coating of snow. I can tell things drying up as the day went on. This is a nice time lapse from the Gaylord Area Tourism Bureau and Chamber of Commerce. No main weather problems, so just a little bits in the morning, and then conditions really improved throughout the day as temperatures warmed up. Any snow really melted off. McBain right now holding at 36. Winds are light 5 miles per hour. Charlevoix here, winds at only 8. But here's the thing, these winds, they're going to start picking up later on tonight, and you're going to really notice them come later on tomorrow. So here's the warmth right now, 30s and a few lower 40s. Wind chills, well, there's a little chill, certainly lower 20s, middle 30s, but you're going to feel a bigger chill later on tomorrow because the winds, well, right now, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. There's some stronger gusts up here, and that's what you're going to get the big push for later on tomorrow. So here comes our cold front, everything coming on through right now. There is a low pressure system, little bits of snow showers along with it. but more notably is that cold air just behind it. So that's why I expect that lake effect machine up in the UP to really start to get going later on tonight and tomorrow morning. There's warning up. Look up here first of all. You'll find a bit more persistent snow showers. Little bits across northern lower. This stuff is not going to add up to a whole lot tonight, but it's this stuff. You can see it really intensifying at times. That's 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. By noon, that wave is now down across the lower peninsula, but there's still lots of cold air in the atmosphere. Look at that organization of the bands up here across the UP tomorrow, some across northern lower and the central lower, but the overall highest numbers are expected in the UP between now and tomorrow afternoon. Even 8 p.m., still lake effect going on, but it will start dying down a bit as we head into Thursday. So snowcast, this is tonight, 8 p.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow. You're finding 3 to 6 inches right here into portions of the western end of the UP. The northern lower, many areas, it's not much, a coating here and there, but you may find a couple inches out towards, say, Rogers City and Gillett area, but that's about it. Down south, the Cadillac, pretty much just a couple of flurries, a few snow showers. And the winds, like I said, right now, they're gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, but look at the color coding over Lake Superior and back to the northwest. Lots of color of red and orange. Very strong gusty winds are expected. So the headlines, lake effect picking up tonight. You're going to find those strong gusty winds excess of 30 miles per hour and potential system for later on Friday. So tonight, some lake effects, yeah, perhaps a couple inches, mainly west of I-75. Low temperatures here, teens, 20s for most locations. Winds keeping that wind chill in the teens, if not single digits, and not just a couple spots. I'm talking all across the area, but only flurries in eastern lower and across the central lower, partly cloudy skies. Now, tomorrow, cold day, high temperatures 20s, 30s, but look at the wind speeds here and across the area, 15 to 30, 35 across northwestern lower with those winds, wind chills, single digits and teens. It's going to be a cold day. The lake effect coming down in spots. I feel it can be pretty rough, but not too bad in the central lower. Got flurries, no big snow going on in the central counties. Your 7-day forecast, scattered lake effect on Wednesday. The cold, gusty winds continue. Thursday, flurries, less wind, still chilly. By Friday, potential messy, wet system of snow coming through, and then back to some more cold for Saturday.
And this is just into the 9 and 10 newsroom to a story we told you about earlier in the show. The Sheboygan Police Department says they found the missing man from Sheboygan dead in the Sheboygan River a couple hours ago. David DeMera had been missing since last Friday. Police are still investigating how he died.
All right, well, coming up, there's a new shop opening in downtown Manton. We'll tell you all the things that you can find. Still ahead at 6. If you've been in need of some retail therapy, we've got you covered. Today in downtown Manton, a new store called Shutt's Stop and Shop celebrated their grand opening. The retail store is owned and operated by a husband and wife team, Matt and Tiffany Shutt. From brand new items marked down to unique items, the shop has an array of things to check out. Matt Shutt works at Manton schools. He said he always encourages his students to invest in themselves. So he decided to take his own advice and open up shop.
I had inventory, stuff wasn't moving. We kind of had a yard sale, made some money there. This past Christmas has been the best we've had. And so at that point, we jumped on board, so you know what, we're doing it. We took a leap of faith, and here we are.
The mission of the new retail space is to offer quality items at great prices.
A Northern Michigan community resource is celebrating a major milestone. Next on 9 and 10 News at 6, we'll have a look back at its 15 years of service. The Lakeshore Children's Advocacy Center in Manistee is celebrating a big birthday. An event was held this morning to mark 15 years serving child abuse survivors and their families. Agency partners, including law enforcement, the prosecuting attorney's office, Child Protective Services, and current and former board members were there, as well as people who started the vision back in 2006 and helped make it a reality in 2009. Over the years, the group has expanded to include Mason County and the jurisdiction of the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians. The center says they've been through a lot over the years, changing their name twice, changing locations 3 times, and doubling their service area, but the mission remains the same.
It is incredibly rewarding 15 years later to see how far we've come, and that even though we have changed names and enlarged our service area, that really our mission and our focus has never changed. We are grateful to be a part of the child abuse investigation, really bringing together the partners in a child-focused response.
The Lakeshore Advocacy Center has 2 locations, one in Manistee and the other in Ludington. It is one of 40 child advocacy centers in Michigan.
We'll get your sweet tooth ready. Still ahead on 9 and 10 News at 6. It's that time of year to show off your creativity and come up with some knock it out of the park food. The Ferris State Bulldogs and the Lake Superior State Lakers men's basketball teams are meeting up tonight in Indianapolis to fight for a spot in the Elite Eight. This is the first time that the Lakers have made it to the Sweet 16, while the Dogs have made an appearance in the Sweet 16 3 times with Coach Andy at the helm. The 2 teams split their season series, with Ferris winning by 4 on their home court and the Lakers winning on their home court by 13. The Dogs are the higher seed coming into the matchup at number 5. They beat the region's number 1 seed in the round of 32. The Lakers are the 6th seed, having beaten 7th-seeded Upper Iowa to reach the Sweet 16.
It's time to get your submissions in for what's become an annual Traverse City Pit Spitters tradition. Fan food submissions are back, and it's the unofficial start of the season at Turtle Creek Stadium. This year, they're asking for fans to submit their creative, sweet and savory treats for the chance to have it featured at baseball games this summer. The grand prize winner will receive a sweet and ceremonial pitch for a regular season game of their choice.
We know what we like here in our front office, and our part-time staff gives us a lot of great insight on what they like, but it's also great to hear from our fans and tourists coming to the area, and it's a great melting pot here in Traverse City, and we want to encourage fans to submit their ideas so we can showcase that.
Can't wait to see them. Now, submissions will be accepted through March 29th, and photos and videos are encouraged, and we'll have a link on 9and10news.com.
Let's talk about that 7-day forecast. Still a bit cold and snowy next couple of days. Got the most snow tonight and tomorrow. Got less on Thursday. Then potential snowy storm on Friday. Could be a couple inches slush out there. And then for next week, things start warming right back up.
It sounds delightful.
I'm looking at that 7. That was 10 before, and now it's 7. So it's dropping.
Hey, but spring's arriving tonight. Don't worry, it's here.
That's right. Extra cold for the start of spring. Thanks for joining us on 9 and 10 News at 6. The CBS Evening News is next.